If you enjoy scrapbook kits and learning how to use them, then today's video is just for you. Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here. I am so excited to share a new kit club with you and show you how I use the components to create this amazing summer layout. On my desk, I have one of the newer kits from Color Rush Studio. This company has only been around for about a year, and the kits they create are absolutely adorable. Like some of the other clubs I work with, they pack their kits full of components from companies that you are familiar with, and they add their own twist with some additional items that they make in their shop. This month's subscriber kit is called Zesty, and it includes this lovely array of Simple Stories pattern papers. There are 12 double-sided prints here. You also receive the matching foam stickers, die cuts, and a collection of exclusive items that coordinate with this Simple Stories collection. Here we have some Frazzles and ribbon, acrylic 4th of July titles and stars with some bits of glitter, and fabric pattern hearts. How cute are these? Color Rush Studio kits can be purchased separately, or you can subscribe to their kits and save with the subscription. You can learn more about that in the subscription part of their site and learn how to get the discount on the monthly kit and the add-ons that are available each month. This one here is the June main kit, and it's called Zesty. And as of today, it's still available on the site for a limited time. I'll add a link to this collection and the subscription info in the description below, so that you can learn more about their monthly kits. This is going to be a country summer layout, so I'm going to use this red pattern called Celebrate the Good Times as my background. I'm going to layer some white cardstock in the center, so I'll gut this pattern real quick and save the leftover piece for another project. This white cardstock is sized at 10 inches square, and it'll sit right in the center with that lovely red pattern around the sides. The memory I'm recording is of our daughter and her new husband. The Zesty kit has a 4th of July vibe, and the first thing I thought of was the little red, white, and blue buntings that hang on the old porches around here in the summer. I'm going to use this check pattern to create one of those fan-like buntings for my page. The pattern strips are cut at 2 inches wide by 12 inches long, and I'm going to score them at 1/4 inch intervals. I chose to make the folds a 1/4 inch apart so that I didn't add too much bulk to my layout. If you have a larger pattern, you may need to increase the width between the folds. Just keep in mind that the width you choose will be the thickness or the height of that fan shape once you add it to the page. All right, I have finished scoring these, and I've already folded one of the pattern strips. Before I start folding the second one, I need to adhere these two papers together. I find that I get a cleaner look when I adhere a mountain fold over a mountain fold. This places the end of the paper inside of the fold where it won't be seen. Once the glue is set, I'll just continue with that mountain valley fold. Occasionally, I use my bone folder to burnish the folds so that they stay nice and crisp. This will take you a few moments, but once it's done, we'll be able to create this lovely fan or rosette shape on the page. So this is what I plan to do with this. I'm going to place this bunting-like shape over here and lay the photo on the right. Before I do, I want to bring a little bit of texture paste to this page. Now there's going to be a lot of white space around where my photo is going to sit. So I've selected a honeycomb or chicken wire stencil for this. This is going to be a really subtle design with white fluffy modeling paste. If you want, you can add color to your paste or add the stenciled images with ink. I plan to add quite a few colorful layers on this layout, so it's going to be best for me to keep the white space on the page so that the eye has a place to rest. If you're familiar with creating rosettes, you could adhere this to a circle and then add that rosette to your page. But it's faster for me to just tack everything in place with a little bit of double-sided tape. I'm going to add some of the double-sided tape to the end here. I'm going to tack this in place right here, and then I'll set my photo in place so that I can figure out how I want this to curve. To hold this in place, I'm going to add a little bit of the double-sided tape right here. And then I'll adjust that rosette slightly and tack it in place. That tape is just temporarily holding everything as I adjust the spacing. Because of the folds and the texture paste, that double-sided tape isn't going to be a permanent fix, but it's going to allow me to space everything out and tack things in place as I determine where I want this to sit on the page. Now it is going to take me a few minutes to figure this out. So as I do this, I would love it if you took a few moments to tap that thumbs up icon, or if you want, tap the subscribe button too. My goal this year is to grow my channel, and your input helps me know what you enjoy. Feel free to also leave me a comment if you have any questions or tips that might be helpful to the other viewers. Once I figured out where everything was going to sit, I trimmed a portion of it off and added some tape to the other end to tack it in place. Now remember, this isn't stuck permanently, so I can still move it around and create some even spacing in the folds. I can also make that circle a little bit smaller so that it gets covered with my photo and the other layers I plan to add. Now I'm going to bring this up to the camera because I know that some of you are probably wondering how much thickness this is going to add to my page. Those folds are 1/4 inch apart, which makes this sit off the page about 1/4 inch. So about as thick as some of the foam tape I use. If this is too much dimension for you, you can cut a simple circle, add a doily shape, or make the width between the folds even smaller. I'm going to bring in some liquid adhesive and add it under this rosette so that it becomes permanently stuck on my page. Now I'm not going to glue every little piece in place because once I start adding my top layers, the adhesive on those will help those folds stay in place. As the glue dries, I'm going to cut out some backers for my photo from these 3x4 cards. It's difficult to see on camera, but that photo is deep blue, not black. And I want to enhance the blue hues with some blue frames. These little cards are often used by pocket scrapbookers or as accents for pages, but I like using them to back my photos. The colors always match the rest of the kit, and I don't have to cut down a large piece of pattern paper or cardstock to create a frame for my photo. I have also cut a tag from the pattern I used for my frame. I'm going to rough up the edges of this as well. You could also add some ink or stitching to the edges if you like. The photo is going to sit over these two little cards, and like I said, they make the perfect little frame. This will sit atop the tag over here on the right side of the page. I think I want to create a torn edge on this tag, so I'll do that, and I'm going to angle it upwards so that it points towards where my title is going to sit. Now, I feel like I need a grounding element under that photo. This pattern piece here looks like some layers of paper with rickrack and stitching, and it's the perfect match to my design. I'm just going to cut this out real quick. Many paper companies design background patterns that resemble layered papers. These patterns are not only ideal for backgrounds, but also serve as fantastic page embellishments. Now that I have this in place, I feel like that tag is too short. Instead of making another tag, I'm just going to cheat a bit here and cut this in two. I'm also going to trim down that grounding element and make it more proportionate to the smaller photo. There, that looks better. Once this is all adhered in place, you'll never know that that tag was two separate pieces. I'm going to place everything down on this page, and then I'll bring in some embellishments. Under the photo, I added some red with that grounding strip. So I'm going to add this foam sticker here at the top to bring more of that color to the page. I want to layer a few flowers around it in red and blue, and I'm going to bring in some of that fabric ribbon. This was my whole reason for adding a tag to the page. I love bringing in fabric, twine, and thread to my layouts. I have looped it through the tag, and I'm tying some blue and white twine from my stash into a bow. Once that's done, I'll fray the top of this a little bit with my fingers so that it matches the rest of the fabric ribbon. You can also fray it with some tweezers or a die piercing tool. I'm going to finish off this space up here with another blue flower and a checked heart. Now, I haven't added any foam tape to these like I normally do because the page already has quite a bit of dimension. On the opposite corner, I'm going to add a few more floral die cuts. This part of the die cut will be hidden, so I'm going to cut off a little flower and use it for the page. Once it's in place, it gives me 3 red flowers on the layout. I'm also going to bring in a third blue flower to help this visual triangle as well. I'm going to finish off the page with this foam sticker title that says "So Sweet," and I'm going to tuck a little blue butterfly underneath it. This creates a nice flow of color around my page. Even though today's design is rather simple, there are some gorgeous layers on this page. As I shared my process, I gave you a few tips for using your pattern papers. Not only did you learn how to create this awesome bunting or partial rosette with patterns, you also learned how to use some of those cut-apart cards in the kit. They make great photo frames, don't they? I also shared my tips for using page backgrounds as accents and how you can get more out of your paper stash by gutting a background or cutting apart elements like I did with this tag. These are just a few simple ways that you can use those patterns and prints that come in this month's Color Rush Studio Kit. As I share a few detailed photos with you, I want to encourage you to check out the Color Rush Studio website. Not only do they have this awesome monthly kit, there are also some adorable embellishments and page pieces for your summer layouts. Links to the kit and supplies I used today can be found in the description below. If you're one who likes to pin photos to inspiration boards, I have added still shots of this layout to my website and to today's social media posts for you to use. I want to thank you for joining me. I hope this project inspired you to try something new. If you have any questions about this layout or the supplies I used, feel free to leave those in the comments below. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.